This
whether you can see my
conference will
screen.
now be recorded.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Is it visible? I started recording, but for somehow I'm not able to. Okay. So I am audible and visible, right? Everybody is perfect, fine, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes, that's fine. Yeah, for me, I am not able to hear your voice, but it's good for me, not an issue. As long as you are able to hear me. Now, today, I am going to start with this one. Let's get to this point. Let's continue with loops. Okay. So that's what the last week we are doing. Now, if you see, this is the topic we are doing. So that's fine, no problem. Our document might be here. This is our document here. Now let's continue with loops. So we have finished working on excuse me, many fundamental and basic loops in the last session. You remember, right? We have done so many programs also. So today we need to continue with for loop. We have finished understanding while, and we came to know that why, if you want to work with any normal loop, it should have a condition, initialization condition, a step statement, and this is what we understood in the last class. And now today let's continue with the for loop, which is very important for you to learn this, because this is one of the most used loop in your Python programming. Of course, if you ask me, don't we use while means more than while? In most of the cases, we prefer to use for in Python programming. Okay. So what's the difference? Okay, so the point is simple. If you ask me, already you have idea about while here. So when you talk about while, it has initialization, it has condition, it has incrementation, all this. But when you talk about for, you don't need all this. For is a special loop which automatically it will do the initialization, and it will do the incrementation. It will also do the condition check. So all in one, it's more like it's a sophisticated loop. So anyhow, we will come to know about it. If you want to know the difference, when we see few examples, you come to know about it. Okay. I have collected many programs for you so that those who are interested in coding. In the last session we have done up to till this this point, palindrome, not palindrome, all this stuff. If you remember, almost we have done around some 25 to 30 programs. Yes, right. So today we'll continue further. This is actually nested loop. This is like working on what is this? This shapes actually. So you can also create many programs like this with nested loop within loop. We can have while in while. Again, inside that you can have one more while. And this is called nesting of loops. What do you call this? Nesting. So what is the advantage of using nested loops is you can build this kind of shapes or pyramids or triangles or rectangles or any kind of coding is possible. This kind of programs can be implemented with nested loops. You got the point, right? So after that, then you can try all this also. Maybe I'm just trying to scroll it down slowly. And also, if you want, I'll share all these programs with you in my videos, YouTube video, that chat box also, the description. In the description, you have all this because I am also adding what programs we are doing in every session under description. That also helps you to get the list of all the different programs which we have done in the session. Okay. Anyhow, it will record it. You can try this again. We'll work on this part also a little later. Now coming back to this for loop. What is this for? This is another new topic for us. So when you talk about for is something I told you, which is a sophisticated loop. Okay, when you look at this for is used or applied or implemented only on loops. I mean only on collections. While can be used for doing general purpose looping, whereas for is not used for general purpose looping, not just for general purpose. It can be used for looping on collections too. Maybe if you ask me, can't I loop this with while loop, sir? If I can't I apply while on collections? Yes, but this is designed more directly to work with collections than while. For is more simple and flexible and very easy also. You got it right. Huh? So that is the point here. Now let's understand how the execution flow of for is. The syntax of for look like this. You have a for variable in your collection. Okay, and this collection can be a string or it can be any collection like a list, set, map. It can be anything. Okay, any other form of collection. Even so, then under that we put the statements. How the execution flow happens. Let me do a little bit comparison of with while. Here you don't have any initialization, you don't have any condition, you don't have any incrementation. All this happens automatically because it has everything internally implemented. What is the requirement? The here you have to put the dummy variable name, some dummy variable, and here you have to give the collection or anything like relevant to that. So when you keep a collection here, how the execution flow happens? It will iterate that collection element by element. Suppose you take a string, you have idea about strings, right? You can apply on string or any other collection. We'll see it with examples. Every time this for is iterated, one value from that collection is or one element value or anything like that is copied to this dummy variable, and then you do something under this for. Here we do some sort of operations in real time. We can also do some logic processing. I'll make you to work on utilities or use cases so that you get more understanding of all this also. Already we are doing so many use cases. So that is how it executes. What is that? Every time when for iterates, one element from this collection is copied to this dummy variable. This is a temporary variable. The value in this variable is just a temporary. Again, once next iteration happens, that old value in this dummy variable is replaced with a new value. It won't stay there. So if you want to preserve the results, you have to copy into some kind of other variables. You got this point, right? I think this point is clear, or anybody has any doubts on this? Anybody has a doubt here? Right. Now anyhow, we'll see with one example. Also one more thing. This is a small string. I'll just show you how to work with how to iterate a simple string and how this for loop behaves. Later on, we'll switch to the discussion of a range function. Okay, so here what I'm doing is iterating a string. So far we are just printing string. We are not doing any iteration on string. When I iterate a string, suppose if there is Python, when I try to iterate it, I get character by character. What I get here? Character by character. Are you following this or not? So I'll just use idle for this. Some of you are asking about your IDEs like PyCharm, all that, we'll also use all that also. It's not like we just stick to this idle. Definitely we are going to work with the most happening IDEs in the industry. Okay. So now this is the idle, and you can save your program as what is that for .python. Save it as for.python. That's enough. Now just take a string here, some s equal to, in single quote or double quote you can take it. It's or triple quote is also fine. You know the difference now. I'm using double quotes here. I take Python. This is my string. Now I want to iterate this element by element. If it is while, I have to iterate by using index. What is that index? You will understand soon within some time today, because we also discuss strings today. Not if possible completely, at least some part of strings. So for I in s colon, I'm just printing I, print of I. If you run this code, let's see the output here. Run. Can you see what you get here? You get element by element, character by character. That's what this for loop does. So what is the execution flow here? If you look at this, s is a string. Now you are passing that as a, here if you see, that is the source. S is source. Don't think that if I put s it is source. You can put any variable name. This for has two parts. The first part is a dummy variable part. The second part is a source part. This is the source and this is the destination. Whenever this loop is iterated, every time one element from this source is copied to this destination variable or dummy variable. Suppose for first time s is iterated, it will copy p from s to I. Second time for is iterated, it copies y from s to I. Third time for is iterated, it will copy t from s to I. This happens for how many times? Until the end of that string, until this complete string is iterated. If you observe carefully, nowhere here I am using initialization. Nowhere here I am specifying condition, how many times loop should iterate. Nowhere here I am mentioning any incrementation. Can you see this? Do you observe that or not? All these things are happening at a time, automatically. And who is doing this? That for has that capability. Got it right? It is internally implemented with all this. You don't need to worry about it as a developer. You need to understand how to apply it, how to use it. You got the point, right? So that's about a simple example of how to iterate a string. Means we can do like this. We are not going to stop with this. You are going to use it in so many times. We are going to use this for. From here onwards, at least for 100 times or more than that, we are going to apply this for actually in most of your programs. Now let me switch to the next topic. I think you are clear with this, right? Anybody has still any confusion or questions from the offline or online? If you have questions, maybe if you want me to repeat, okay, what do we do? You can ask me. Then, because understanding the basic is important. Later on, once you get that idea, then it's fine for us, not a difficult thing. Okay. Now, next one. Let's get into this discussion. So we are done with that. Next, working with the range function. Okay, this is very useful for us. What is this range function? It is a built-in function. It is also a collection. It provides a collection of values depending upon the parameter you pass to range. Okay. So actually, what range does? Range provides a list of values. or collection of values, group of values. Okay, it provides what is that? List of values. Starting from, by default, the starting is always 0. Where it starts? It starts with the default starting is 0. It starts with 0. Maybe if you ask me, how do I know? We'll see. We'll test with examples. First, understand it clearly. Always starting is 0. Default. Maybe you can, if you want, you can change it. It's not like you should stick to the default one. But if you, what is the default starting point for range function? It's 0. You got the point, right? That is one thing. Next one. There are two things when you talk about range. It has a start point and end point. Okay, what it has? A start and end point. Okay, so it has a start point, comma, it has a end point. Also, it has a step also. When I tell this to you, you might get confused, or you might be thinking, what are all this? I'll give a crystal clarity here. No need to worry about it. Within next 10 to 15 minutes, definitely you are going to get a clear understanding about the three forms of range. How many forms of range is there? It's not just one form, it's three forms here. I think you are following this, right? So let's see. We can see here, as already you can see, this is the first form, range of n. This is second form, range of x comma y, or m comma n, or otherwise a range with one parameter, two parameters, three parameters. That one in the parentheses, we call them as parameters. What do we call them? Parameters. You understand, right? So let's start with this. Might be you don't understand, might be some of you are trying to read this. Exclusive means I'll explain this. Let's understand this range function. Okay, you can open directly your idle or Python prompt. So for better analysis, simple analysis, quick analysis, what I am using here, I am opening my Python prompt. I taught this, how to use all this in the beginning sessions. If anybody is new to these sessions, what I suggest is all these sessions were recorded and available in our YouTube channel. Okay, you know our channel name, right? So you please just share to your friends also. Those who are missing, Learn Well Space Tech. This is the channel name. If anybody wants to have a quick backup, so just attend this and try to continue sessions. Okay, you don't need to worry that you missed any session. Okay, so next, let me continue. So now I am using Python prompt. Okay, this is my Python prompt. Let's understand how range function works. I'm using form 1. I'm little slow. Whenever we are doing something very beginning, I'll be very slow so that everybody can understand it clearly. Okay. So I told you, right? What is this range? It provides collection of values. How it provides? Let's see one example first. So first one, range of what is that, folks? Range of suppose I give 10. You know, you have done what you have iterated, printed 1 to 10 in the last session, in the last weekend. I asked you to do 1 to 10, 10 to 1, sum of numbers, palindrome, Armstrong, reversing a number. We have done so many programs, so much of stuff. Now I don't want all that basic and medium level or little difficult programs. Just very simple, 1 to 10. For that, what you have to do? You have to do initialization. You have to iterate. Okay, you have to mention the condition and incrementation. But if you use range, it will automatically provide. You see, when I say range of 10, it is giving me the default initialization. When I say 10 means it will give values up to 10. Up to, in sense, it will exclude 10. It won't take 10. 10 is excluded. It will give up to 9. Maybe if you want 10, what should we do? You should give 11. If you want that to be endpoint, 10 is endpoint, give 11. Are you following this or not? So now But when I just say like this, it is giving 0, comma 10. It starts iterating from 0 and ends with 9. It is not going to consider 10. It will iterate up to 10. It won't use 10. 10 is excluded. Point is clear or not? Then you ask me, sir, how can I see all the 10 values, sir? Yes or no? Then you have to definitely pass this to a iterator. Which iterator is best choice for us here? While is not the best choice because it is applicable, it is a regular loop, general purpose loop. Then the most preferred one is for. Recommended one is for. Why? Because it is exclusively applied on only collections, isn't it? Yes or no? So what do you do? Shall I use for here? You know the for syntax, right? What is that? It should be for a dummy variable, isn't it? What is the syntax for variable in collection? See, syntaxes you should memorize and you should understand the execution, how this syntax works and apply it. That is the easiest way of learning program. Many people get confused with syntax itself. They think programming is different. Okay. So for I in, you can directly use range of, you can directly mention range function here if you want. Range of what? Range of 10 colon. As you have observed in the previous example, when I iterated string, you should give collection as your source. Even range is also a kind of collection, which provides a default list of values. Now, what I do, I just say here, okay, you do take care of indentation. What you have to do? You have to take care of indentation. That is very important in Python, as I told you in the previous session, somewhere when we started discussing indentation. It should be print of I, and then a small indentation. That's what block is in Python. If you don't use indentation, I told you, you are not keeping this under for, but it is like other statement after for. 1 minute, guys. Still, we have some of our friends attending the sessions here. So take care of indentation here. Okay. Whenever you are keeping a block, make sure that you have some space here and keep the statements under that loop or any construct. Okay. Now press enter. Am I getting 0 to 9 or not? No. Yes or no? Yes, you can see how many values range is providing here. 10 values. This is version 1. Range with 1 parameter. You just specify the range here till what element you should iterate. Then automatically it will iterate to that point, to that element, excluding that element. 10 is excluded here in the output. Can you see here? Is 10 excluded or not? Yes or no?
Yes.
Right. So it's starting with, did I give any initialization here? Did I tell range function to start with 0? But still it's starting with 0 or not? Yes or no? Means what? Default initialization for range is what? 0. And ends with the, suppose if that number is n, it ends with n minus 1. Same like arrays in C language if you are from C. If you don't know C, don't worry. If I bring in that, you don't need to care about it. Understand this point here. What is that point? It starts with 0, ends with the n minus 1. Clear? Will you do one or two small programs now? But of course, let me finish all the 3 forms. Then I will give you assignments, I mean tasks to implement in the classroom, use cases. Then we work on use cases like in the previous classes. Okay, I told you, initially for half an hour, 1 hour, I will talk. Later on, you will work. That's how this session goes. Clear, right? So, now, let me just, second form, range of x comma y or m comma n, anything is fine. Form 2 is that. Are you good with form 1 now? You can use this. This is actually the basic version, whichever we have used is a. Also, you can do one more thing whenever you are working with this. For clearing screen, what is that? Import os dot. How should I clear my screen? System of CLS. You can also assign it to some variable and apply clear function. Okay, that's fine. Now, what is the pointer? What should I do now? You can also do like this, something x equal to some range of what? Some 20. You can initialize this range to a variable. Okay. Do you want to know what kind of type is x here? Can you see type of x? What it's showing here? Range. The class is range here. All these are classes, folks. If you ask me what is class, wait for some time. You will get a very clear discussion. But for now, just remember all these, most of these functions which we use are classes. Okay. Now I can iterate like this for I in x. Okay, colon. Again, what is that? Print of I. Suppose I want all my values in one line. I don't want line by line. I want it to be printed in a single line. Okay. So end equal to some space here. You know the space thing. I taught you this somewhere in the previous session. Okay. Because print has different flags. I told you start flag, end flag. In between, so many flags were there. So press enter, and you can see all your output is coming in one line. But still, you can do. Might be if you are, 1 minute, friends. For I in x, okay, colon. If you want space, what should I do now? Print I, comma, and equal to, after that give some gap, okay, put some space, allow some character in that. This time you get, can you see this time? This is more readable output than the previous output, isn't it or not? Yes or no? Is it readable or not? In this way, it's not about writing code, understanding the output. Understanding your code to your friends is also very important. To other developers is very important. And that's what we call readability. Maintaining readability in code is also one of our responsibilities. Clear, right? So let me switch to the next one. What is that? So first version is clear for all of you, right? If everybody in the offline is clear, then online will be also clear. Because I am teaching the same for everyone, right? Are you clear? Yes. Anybody has questions? Except someone who came late to the session. Might be you might have some disconnection to the topic, but still it's not difficult. Okay, these are all very simple and very easy. Python is first thing is very easy to understand. Okay, next, range of x comma y. What is that missing? You miss in this first version. If you use just range, what is that you miss here? You cannot choose the initialization. Always it starts with 0. You can choose the ending. Where you can end, you can choose that. But where you should start is always in the hands of range itself. If it is this one, this version, range of n. It's not possible always, right? Sometimes we need to set that start and end points. We cannot give always to 0. Then what should we do then? We have to use second version here. This one, second form. Otherwise, use this form. Okay, then you can choose where to start and where to end. You can, it's very clearly mentioned here, x is starting point, and is y is ending point. It is just a syntax. Don't try to put x comma y. You have to pass some values there. Okay, what should be your end, what should be your start. Okay, that's let us test it once. Okay, so first thing, again I am just trying to write some what is that, os dot system of, let me clear my screen. So now again, for I in, I want to print 1 to 10 as usual, the basic program looping. When you start learning loops, the first program your teacher teach you is what? 1 to 10 only. Any teacher, they start training you from 1 to 10. For I in what, gentlemen? I in range of, what should I do to print 1 to 10? 1 comma 11. Very good. That's absolutely good. Perfect. Are you following this? These are all simple things if you just concentrate. Okay. Then what you do, gentlemen? Just print off what? Print off I. Then enter. You got 1 to 10 this time? Okay. Enter. Press one more time. Okay. See, after first enter, if you are using for this for loop and you are printing like use, actually I recommend you to go and use the idle. You don't have all this confusion. So when you print like this, when you press enter, if you don't get output immediately, don't worry, press enter one more time. You come out of that loop first. Then you get output. Okay, nothing to worry. I think this is clear, right? Range of 1 comma 10 means you choose this time where to start and where to end. And this upper limit is excluded. This 11 is excluded here. Okay, if you have n here, m to n, m is included, n is excluded. Are you following this or not? It will take up to n minus 1. Is this clear to you? So next, third form. This is also fine. You can print 1 to 10, or you can print even numbers, odd numbers. That is also fine. You do some logic processing. Suppose for even number, what do you do? Again, you put some if inside that loop. You do condition filter check, all that. But you know, for is much more sophisticated. You don't need to take so much of burden. You don't need to take that much burden if you are using this for loop, because for has that mechanism to automatically increment. You can choose your step. By default, it increments by what? By 1. It increments by how much value? Default incrementation is 1. It has an incrementation. Do you agree or not? Yes or no? But are we doing that? Then what is this default incrementation? It is just a 1. Are you following or not? Suppose some of you might ask, this is a normal question in learning process. Sir, I want increment by 2 because you came from C, C++, Java or something else. For this, you don't need to do anything. You just observe here how simple this is. Then you have to take form 3. Which form you have to take? Form 3. You should take this form, third form. If you want to choose a step, this is x is start point, y is end point, n is a step. Step in sense by how much you should increment. What is default increment? Are you following or not? What is default increment? 1. Default initialization for range is 0. Can we customize it? Yes. We can. Can we give our own initialization? Yes. Can we choose our own step? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. So as it's clearly mentioned here, x is start point and y is end point and n is a number of steps. That variable names you can change. Understand what should be the first parameter, what should be second parameter, what should be third parameter. Variable name can be anything. I choose it like that. Are you following this? Shall we just print even numbers from 1 to 10? The most very simple form. Simple way. Okay. Let's just, after that, it's your turn. I told you, right? Once the basic is clear, then I start giving you the tasks, use cases. You have to build those use cases. Now, for I in range of, should I start from 0 or not? I am using 0 comma, then because I start with 0 or 2, 2 is also fine. You can start with 2. And then next one is some 11, or you can take up to 10 also, no problem. But it will just stop till 9, isn't it or not? Okay. Then comma 2 colon, Then what should I do here? Just print a I. You can see, press enter. Did I get all even numbers without any much difficulty? Is it so simple and very primary and very, what is that? Easy. Yes or no? So that is it. But see, until this understanding will be little okay slow here. Then you have to take use cases after this. Next one. What else we do? This is actually we are moving forward, incrementing. Now we understood that range can be used not only just increment by 1, it can be used increment by n, by 2, by 3, by 10. Suppose if you ask me, sir, I want increment by 10, sir, by 3, sir, sorry. Then can I do it? Yes, of course, 10 is also possible. Just pass 3 here as step. When you pass 3, means you are incrementing by 3. Is this difficult for any one of us? So just say print of what, gentlemen and ladies? Is it incrementing the given collection by 3 or not? Might be you can ask, sir, initialization I want to change, sir. I will start with 1, sir. Please, you can choose whatever you want. Depends on your requirement there. Here it's a learning, you can play as you like. But if you are working on a project, how to do initialization, all this, you have to choose all this parameter. Depends on the logic, what you are processing at that time. Okay. So this is what the point is. By default, this range increments by 1. Second thing is default initialization is 0. Then okay, that's so. Then what about decrementation? I want to iterate from 10 to 1. Are you following, folks? What I want is I want to iterate 10 to 1. Then how do I do that? Same thing. We have to change initialization. Your start point should be 10. What should be your end point if it is 10 to 1? Here there should be a slight change, not so very heavy change is not necessary. But common sense, what is this point here? Your start has to be 10 if it is 10 to 1, and n has to be 0, because if I give 1, 1 is excluded. That's why I put 0. And what should I do here as step now? Should I give 1 here? If I give 1, it's incrementing. And this is actually foolishness. When I say go from 10 to 1, I cannot give 1 because this won't work. What should I do then? I have to give -1. Means you are asking come from in a reverse direction. If you give 1 in a positive direction, incrementing 1, 2, 3, all positive values are for incrementing or negative for decrementing. So I put as -1 here, so that now what is the point? I can just print it directly without any hesitation. And if you see here, it looks like this. Can you see the output now? Are we seeing it from 10 to 1 or like or not, folks? Yes, sir. Now, one more small quick question for all of you. I want to print all even numbers from 1 to 10 or 10 to 1 in reverse direction. Which direction? Yes, exactly. What you have to do, small change to this code is that's what quick requirement. Instead of -1, put it -2. Suppose I want to decrement by 3, put by 4,
Step
-4, by 100, -100. You got this right? Now you got a clear understanding of all these 3 forms, right? The very basic form with 1 parameter, and the other form with 2 parameters where you can choose start and end, and the third one with 3 parameters where you can choose start point, end point, and step statements. Are you ready for use cases now? For building your own use cases. I'll give the requirements, you keep working. That's how it goes. It's your turn, my turn is over. So now let's start it. See, if you want to get best out of these sessions, you have to be patient and you have to have that fire also. Then only you can utilize these sessions. Okay, now let's start implementing these programs once. Do it now. Already we have done with while. Let us see, let us apply same programs with the for also, just for practice, quick practice. It will hardly take for you more than just not even 2 minutes if you start working on it. Are you ready now? Let's solve all this one by one. 10, 1 to 10, 10 to 1. Use any one of these three forms. Choose whatever you want. I'm not going to restrict you what you should use. Now I have given a clear picture about all the three forms of range. What to use, what not to use is your choice. Are you following, gentlemen? Let's implement them. Come on, do it. Even online friends, I may not see you, but still I recommend you to start working on all this. You download your Python software from online. Just type in your Google and download it, install in your laptop, and start working. So yeah, Kamal.
Because this I clicked for I in range 21 40 minus 2. So I came 21.
That's all right. In the first iteration itself, 21 to 20 means just only one value, right?
Yeah. So if we write minus 2, we only got 21.
Oh, that's all right.
But 21 should be skipped.
Who told? 21 will be included. That is a start point, right?
So start point will be there, end point won't be there.
End point will be excluded. I got it right. You got you understood it in reverse way. Okay?
I thought both.
Even if you do the reversing also, that doesn't change. Always no, you have three parameters: start point, end point, and step. Start is always included.
End is not.
End is excluded.
And skip is
your choice, right? Depends on logic. Now you are clear, right? Good. Any more questions, folks? Please, online friends, you can type in chat box your answers. Okay. What I request is just type in chat. Okay. These are very basic programs. We'll go little. I'll also make you to work little difficult programs. Understood? Next one. Shall I start giving solutions? Can I provide my solution? Because I told you, of course, you will try it. I will provide my solution for all this. A quick solutions for you. Those who need some help, you can just view that answers. Those who are already having idea, you implement them. I suggest to implement. Take that burden, try to work with it, then you see best results. Okay, now this time I am going to use idle. Idle is much more comfortable, right? Okay, ideal. Go to file. You can use anything of your choice. You can use PyCharm, but before that, make sure you install Python software. Then you can start using IDE, Anaconda, Spider, Jupyter. You can work with all this. These are the most popular IDEs in a real-time environment. Okay. But for us, we don't have access to all the other IDs. Unfortunately, we are into big data. We have only access to idle basic version. So whenever we create utilities, we build with this. Because for our utilities, idle is sufficient. If we need some sophisticated libraries, still we have a restriction. Got it right? Suppose I want to use same pandas for doing something. I cannot use that. Depends. Your environment also sometimes doesn't have access. Got it right. Now let's cello. I'm doing first one for I in range of first program printing 1 to 10, range of 11, range of I asked 1 to 10 specific, right? So I'm using this print of what, folks? I think this font is enough, right? Or should I change the font? Someone who is at the back of this session, huh? Visible, right, for all of you? Okay, you can save it, and then usually save all your programs at one place. That's a good habit. Later on, if you want to refer it other time, it will be good to have all at one place. Now let's run this. Run module. 1 to 10, it's done for me. 10 to 1. Now you try to correct my program now. What changes I have to do to this code to make it 10 to 1? It should start with the 10 and it should end with the 0 if it is 10 to 1. It's okay, fine, no problem. Being a very small boy, you are able to do that, means it's very good. Run. Okay. I didn't get my output. Why? Obviously you don't get it right. I missed my step. Without step, we can't do this decrementation. What you have to do? You have to put -1. This time we are sure we get output right. Yes, are you following or not? Okay, just run it. I got 10 to 1. Then what's my next program? Even numbers, right? Even from 1 to 10. What is that I should do? 1 comma or 0 comma. You can start with the 0 comma 11 comma 2. Then you just run it. Are these programs difficult? Just run it. Run module. You got all even numbers. Odd numbers from 1 to 10. What corrections I should do to this code to get odd numbers, folks? Okay. So you can do this. What is that? Just change this to what? You have to make a small change here. It should start with the 1. It's common sense, right? 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 2 is 4, 5. And just make a run module. Got all odd numbers? Okay, next one. After this, the next one is sum of first 10 numbers. How do you do the sum of first 10 numbers? Suppose, can I choose my n here? Can I choose my n dynamically? Can I input n from keyboard and pass it to this range function? Is it possible or impossible? Not possible. You can do in different ways, isn't it? Let me try that version also. Let me try to input n from keyboard. Let me choose where I should stop. Okay, so which function should I use to input a value from keyboard? Input. Just I have to use an input function. This is Python 3.x. If it is 2.x, you can choose either raw input or input. I told you the differences. Okay, then I can just say that's enough actually to input, but readability is important. If I run this, sometimes I don't know what to enter. That indication won't be there. For that, what I'm doing, enter n. Then what should I do? Let me pass this n here. 1 comma n, isn't it or not? Yes or no? I can choose first n n numbers. That n can be anything which you input from keyboard. Yes or no? Are you following or not? Right. So now just go and run this quickly.
Convert it to input.
Yes, there is a small correction here. By default in 3.x input read this value as string, right? But it has to be integer, right? Should we apply casting or not? How to convert a string, numeric string to integer? Just apply. All of you know this. We had a discussion, clear discussion. Okay, apply this casting for this. You can directly pass input to this function. There are two ways. First, you read it. In the next step, again pass it to one more step. You can add to that. but already we have better understanding on this, so I am doing it in one step. So save this. Are you following, folks? This anyhow, you know how to input this. Let me run this now. Thank you for reminding me this. So by default, input
Sir,
in Python 3.x
type input.
accepts
You missed
anything
I.
as string. If it is something an integer you are expecting, do casting. Or if you are expecting something float, apply casting. This one conversion. For that we have casting functions. We had a clear discussion. Okay, if anybody is missing out that, again I told you, you have sessions already recorded and put it into the channel. You can go and check that. There is some issue here. What is that? I am missing I here from the input. Obviously, then what should I do? Run module. That's fine, correct it. Enter n. Should I give 20 now? What is that I am trying to print here? Odd numbers. You got up to 20 now? In this way, if you want, you can choose where to start also. Dynamically, you can give input where to start. Understood or not? Are you following this or not? This is idea about what is this different ways of all the basic programs. Now, last program from this list is finding sum. How do you find sum? Simple, right? You have to take a variable sum equal to 0. This time we don't need to iterate by 2 or something. I just need first a sum of n numbers. You can say 1 comma n. It will take up to n minus 1. You know that you are conscious about that. So what should I do now? What is my logic? Actually, sum is also a built-in function. Maybe if you don't want to confuse, okay, you can give that someone or like that. It's fine. Okay, now what is the logic I have to apply here? Sum equal to sum plus I. This is now all of you know this. These are fundamental logics which you should have a clear hold on all this. Then I am done. Then what should I do now? Finally print sum and then save this, and then what should I do now? So here, am I missing anything here?
Yes.
Okay, you want to take up to 1. No. Then you can take 1 plus 1 also. That is also fine. You want to iterate up to 10, add 1 to that 10. That's fine. Okay. So now I'm about to run this. Enter n. But as I modified my code, what should I do now? I should again rerun this code, because once you make changes to the code, make sure again you rerun it or recompile it and run that. Okay. So again go here, then run module, save changes, ask something n here. I am giving how much? If I give 10, this means it will iterate up to, because we say n plus 1, it will take the endpoint as 11 now. 55 is perfect, right? Yes sir. We have done this in the last class. And all of you have implemented this? Yes sir. No? Okay. Spelling of input is wrong. Yeah, I corrected it. Okay. Thank you. Sandhya, somebody is giving me inputs. Shall I switch to the next program? What is our next program? Still we have a few more programs. Then I'll switch to strings topic today. Which topic? We are going to play with strings. But before that, are you good with all these basic level concepts or topics? If you are not good till this point, then of course you can understand the topic. But when I ask you to implement, again you get you have to wait for my answer. That is not going to help us completely. Okay, so this anyhow we have done it. Sum of even numbers is fine. Maybe do you want to try a few more programs on this, or are you good now? What I suggest is take an assignment. Those who are very ambitious, interested, whatever we have done with while loops, because we have done some 30 programs logics with while, and also nested looping. We'll see a small example for nesting also. Apply all those with what? With for and range. Now apply with for. Whatever programs we have done with while, convert and apply for. Obviously range is required there. Understood? And here one more important point. Remember, whenever you are using for, this source here, this source, always it should be a collection. What it should be? Collection. Collection means it has to be have group of values, list of values inside that. That's called collection. We'll talk on collection concept, might be in the next week or tomorrow. Once I finish strings, I'll make you to work with what? Collections. Not done. Every day I told you, right? We are going to work with at least 15 to 20 programs. Very basic or medium or little difficult programs. Ready for next topic, Kadan? What is the assignment? Assignment is apply all programs what we have done with while to for. For list of programs, if you are missing out it, as I told you, it's there in my, I put it in the description of our channel. Also, I'll share also. If you want, I'll share it in the classroom also. So these were the list of programs. Okay, you can see here. Is it visible, right? Should I increase the font otherwise?
It's fine.
Just a quick, I am just, these were the programs we have done in the up to palindromes. Meanwhile, in the middle also we have done some small and medium programs. So these are all list of programs we have done, okay? These programs you implement with the for, okay? Right. So we have also done this printing all prime digits, okay? And we stopped with this topic in the last session. Okay, so now, are you good now? So shall I switch to string now? That shapes we'll do again. Sometime later, while working with collections, I will bring back shape program so that you don't feel, you are not feeling like you are always working on logic part. Okay, so that you have some breathing this thing. So usually I always prefer to make you to work on logic only. Okay, right. Next one, strings. Let's switch to this today. Before strings, there is few more things you need to understand. What is that about this for loop? There are few more things with for also. What is that? One is there is a break topic. What topic is there? There is a break topic is there in Python. Also there is a continue topic. What topic is there? And for with else. One more topic is what? For with else. These are all important to you in coding. Shall we do a small example on break part now? What break does? Quickly before I switch to strings. Break will, whenever break is executed, it will terminate or it will skip the execution of that loop. Usually break is applied on inside some loops. We'll see a small example how break works. Break breaks the execution of a loop. Simple. How it breaks, let us see. Suppose I have a small program here now. Okay. Shall I just apply a small? I'm taking a small collection. You don't need to understand too much about it. Okay. Just to get quick understanding how it works. So I say some x equal to. Okay. I'm just taking a couple of fruits here just for little this thing. Tell me some favorite fruits. Apple, banana, pineapple. Okay. Or anything of your choice. It's not like what. Banana and grapes. Okay. This is actually called a list, but you don't need to understand. Just we are trying to understand quickly how break works. This is also a collection like string, like range. This is also a simple collection. List in sense, put your values comma separated in this square brackets. That's the list. Simple, right? How many values are there? Now you don't need to understand anything about list, but if we pass it to for, it will iterate element by element and it will display it. All of us know this or not? For this, you don't need to have any understanding about this list. Yes or no? Okay, right. So what do you do now? You pass your, this should be always source. After in should be source. So what is that? Fruits. If you want, you can change it to F for better this thing. Otherwise, I am keeping I because I know what I am doing. I don't want what is that. Then after that, what should I do now? Print off I. That is fine. Okay. Then go to this. Should I use sum here? Say we should remove this, right? Otherwise, we get error. No, just run this. Another small example how to apply for on a collection. More style of applying for. We have seen for in different styles. For applying on string, for applying on range, for applying on list. Of course, we do this again in more detailed discussion. This is fine. Now, for no reason, I didn't bring this. We have a reason. Now, small requirement for you now. Are you ready? What is that small requirement? 1 minute. Suppose somehow that got closed. No problem. I'll quickly add it. Some fruits equal to apple, comma, banana, comma. Last one is what? It's your choice. Your array or your list, your fruits. That's all. Then you can pass here what? Now the requirement is this. Let's apply break. How break works? Suppose you can do it like this. Usually when you are keeping break, it should be a conditional break. You have to put a condition, a filter. Usually if inside that if you have to put break. Usually we don't put break directly inside a loop. Why? Because if you put directly break inside a loop, from the very beginning itself it will break. Then there is no point of using that break inside loop. Are you understanding? Let me give you more clarity of fruits. And then this is fine, right? This is what we have just tested. Okay. Okay, this is fine to me. Next one. Let's see how to use break. Suppose if it is banana, I should stop the iteration. If my element is banana, break the iteration. Simple requirement. Huh? Obviously. And yeah, we have to add condition checks. It's not like, this is very basic thing what we have discussed. Suppose when you move to the little, complex logics, you have to use if inside this for or something. If is the most common thing you apply in your coding. Following or not? So what should I do now? What should I do? If I in fruits, that is fine. So this is okay. Now what is the requirement? Requirement is if element is banana, break the loop. You know what break does? All of you know how break is useful, right? Whenever we apply break, it will terminate the execution of loop. Yes or no? Only loop, not program. It's not exit, it's a break only. Okay, when you put a break to your bike also, it won't stop. Engine don't stop. You will just temporarily halt there. This is also like that. Okay, now if how do you do comparison? How do you do comparison? If you have your element in I, right? Every time you iterate, an element is copied to I or not? How do I comparison?
Yes.
How do I compare it? If I equal to
Apple
what is
equal
that?
to
Banana. Very simple. Colon. Then just print. If it is banana, I should do?
break.
I should
Break.
break. Okay. That's all. Keep break and leave it like that. If not, what should I do? Should I print other values, right? If it is banana, break. If it is not banana, what should I do?
Print
Else?
I.
Yeah. You can do
Print
it in
I.
different ways. If x not equal to banana, print it. Else break. There are many ways to do this, okay? You can do it in your style. We don't have any issue at all, okay? There are many ways to implement one logic. Then you print it, okay? Will this satisfy our requirement? Folks, are you with me? Or out of coverage area? All of you are in session only, right? Sometimes when you make a phone call, we get switched off or out of coverage area. If you are, what is that, physically present, emotionally switched off, then wake up and come back to the session. Now, Shall I run this? Is there? Do you think this will work?
Yeah.
Are you sure this will work? Yes or no? Nobody is answering it. All of you have doubt here.
Yes.
Huh? After
Yes.
doing so
Yes.
much of logic, implementing so many logics, will it work or not? Sure?
Yes.
Let's see.
Can't I give it in the for itself?
Oh, I got apple. Means we break after banana. Perfect, right? This is how break works. But how do how do we use break here? Can I put break wherever I want, as I in whatever the way I want? I cannot use as I want. I have to use it in a proper way. Usually breaks has to be put inside some filter, some condition. Then only it is good practice. Suppose I'll do like this. I'm not using any condition. I'm trying to put it. First thing, syntactically, we have to check this whether this will work or not first. Usually, this is not allowed in loops to have a direct break. Is yes or no? Okay, if you don't know, no problem. Test it. So your interpreter is in front of you. You don't have idea. Be curious and work on that. So what do you do right now? Say run. Did you get anything here? Why? Because it got breaked in the first iteration itself. Got it right? Suppose there is one more small statement I am working here. You tell me what was the output here now, okay? Think carefully and answer this question, folks. What is my output to this code? Are you sure?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Empty.
Do you think the
Nothing.
program will compile?
Nothing. No output.
No, just my question. Out of doubt I am asking, does this program will compile? Yes, sir.
Yes.
You need to understand all this also. Like learning programming in sense, not just blindly implementing logic. I mean syntax. How that loop works. If I put something like this, will it work or not? All this basic understanding is necessary. Anyhow, as
After break,
most of
you
you are
have
saying
to
it will
give
work,
column.
I'm trying to run this. Let us see whether it will work or not. Understood? It's working fine, but there is no output. But if you
Yeah.
go to Java, C++, by now you would have seen some compilation error. Unreachable statement. Somebody is telling me this. Because after break, keeping this print is foolishness. Because for the first time itself, break will execute. Loop get terminated. What is the point of key having print after that?
No use.
You got the point, right? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is it. So there is no use for this print. That's why I told you, go for what kind of break? You should put condition break.
Conditional break.
Understood? After switching off engine, if you apply break, any use? Sir,
No.
simple, right? Same thing here also. Excuse me. Clear, right? So that's how it goes. Next one. This is about first thing, break. Another one, another program. What is that I told you? Another topic is a continue. Understanding continue. Let's see how continue works. How continue works? Many people has a confusion on continue. What I am seeing is, even I have a confusion in the beginning. Up to first 3-4 years, continue means continue only. What does that means? No proper understanding. Seriously. But now I have a perfect idea. Don't worry. I am not continuing that. What is that? Confusion. Now the point is how continue works. It will skip the iteration. How it skips is very important. Understanding that. Let's have a clear understanding with a small example. Whenever continue is executed, suppose I put a continue here. Generally, this break, this continue, all this has to be conditional. You have to use it with some condition. Don't directly apply them. Suppose I put continue here. Let me just try this. Okay. Then after that, I am printing some line. Okay. Just understand. You will get a perfect idea. Now you got idea about break, right? What break does? Break the loop or stop the execution of loop. But what is that we learned here? You have to apply break carefully with a condition, otherwise it is going to damage so much to us. Okay, then let's continue. What happens if I put continue here? What it does? What is the functionality of continue? Whenever continue is executed, you have statements after continue, right? Yes or no? Yes. Is it inside for or outside for? So when I am iterating for, after continue, the other statements has to be executed or not? Usually. Yes or no? We should go and execute remaining statements in for or not? But if you put continue, then means what? You are again telling to the loop, you continue from here. Means it doesn't allow your control to go to the other statements after continue. Very simple to understand. What is that? Once continue is executed, control is again written back to for. Where it is written back? For next iteration. Next iteration. Then you don't get a chance to go to the next statement. Suppose you have 10 statements after continue. Then no use. The 10 statements are not executed here because continue will skip the remaining statements after continue. Remember, it's very clear. Whatever that is after continue, they are skipped from execution because it will again ask the loop to continue from here itself. Are you following this or not? Means what is the, do you understand my statement or not? If you understand, it's simple. Some of you have some question, again doubt here. When I say continue will ask your iterator to continue from there to go to the next iteration. Means the statements, when you put continue, the statements after that continue are skipped from execution. Do you understand this one? Maybe let me run it and show you. What do you think this output will be? Nothing will come because first you come. Let me explain line by line. Then first you take you go to this for loop. From fruit, what is the first element? Apple. Apple is copied to I. Then what you are executing here? Continue. What continue does? Does it allow control to go to next statement? No. What it will do? It will send back the control. It will send back the control again to the start of the loop. Again, one more element is copied from fruit. Banana is copied to I. Again, you come to continue. Then what happens again? Do you think the control will go down? No. Again, control is sent back to beginning. Again, it will take one more element from fruits. Copy to what? I. Again, you come to continue. Will you go down? No. Again, what happens? Come back. Means what continue is doing? It's all, loop is always a cycle only. But in that cycle, what you are doing, you are not completing cycle. Wherever you see continue, from there your control is again sent back to the beginning of the loop. Got it right? Again, it's not allowing your control to go down. Shall I? Let me run it. See, few things you have to test and understand. How many times I repeat this statement, you don't. Did you get any output now? I will show you now. See here. Suppose I want to, what do I want to do? I'll do one thing now. If it is banana, okay, I don't want to print it. What is that? If it is banana, then only I don't want to print it. Okay, what shall I do now? If I equal to what is that? Banana. Okay, maybe if you ask me, sir, it seems like you like banana very much. It's not like that. You can take grapes also. Okay. Now, what I want to skip which one? Printing this. Of course, I'll take one small number example also to give better understanding. Then, after this, what I'm doing? I'm printing it. Whenever banana comes, what happens? It doesn't allow to print it. Yes or no? When continue executes, immediately it will send back the control to the beginning of start of loop again. Shall I run this now? Run module. You got apple and grapes, but which is missing here? Well, one more small example quickly. I'll take range of numbers. Leave about this one. What I'm doing here, I'm taking some range of numbers till what? This gives better understanding. Range of up to 11 means it will iterate up to 10. First 5 numbers I want to print. From then I want to continue. Or first 5 numbers I want to skip. Then I want to print remaining 5 numbers. You can choose any one of these two. Then how can I apply continue? If let's print first 5 numbers, okay? Then what is the condition I have to apply here? What is the condition I should apply? If I greater than 5 is colon, then continue. Otherwise print it. You don't need to use else here. Why? This time else is not required. Once you execute continue, it will automatically return back to the control. Got it? Something like this continue in sense. A session is going on. Somebody suddenly comes and peeps into the classroom and they will say, okay, continue. You will observe this quite frequently when a meeting is going on. Yes or no? He's not going to come in and disturb you. This is also something like that. Now, what would be the output? You tell me. All of you got clear understanding about continue? Still, anybody has that confusion? Any confusion? So it's simple. Whenever you put continue inside a loop or a condition, that once that is executed, immediately that control is returned back to the start point. Any statement after that doesn't get a chance for execution. You got this point, right? And you have to take care whenever we are using this break, continue, all this stuff. You have to apply certain proper conditions and then you have to implement these things. Let me just run it. Are you ready now? Run module. Then you get what first? First 5 numbers or first 0 to 5. Are we skipping the rest of the part or not with continue or not? Are you following this? Once this condition is true, it will execute continue. Again, control is moved to return back to the beginning of the loop. Okay. Is it clear to all of you now? That's about the last one. It's not something too complicated. It's something like this. Something like print of I. This is with for with else. What is that? Like if with else, right? Do you have idea about it? All these are different constructors. There is something called for with else. We don't see this in C, C++, Java, or C#, but we find this only in Python. And maybe something related to interpreted languages. I didn't see in other languages which I have worked so far, but I am seeing this only in Python. And then you can use for with else colon. Then what else I can add here? Printer. See, this will completely iterate it. Then once that is done, then it will come to else part. Something like this. You can do some sum, and if you want to print it, you can print it in the else part. Once after complete iteration is happening. But anyhow, let me do this. Finally, done. Okay. Save this. Shall I run this now? Invalid syntax.
After print.
Yeah. I agree. Now, for with else is there. Don't think I am fooling you. I am not fooling you. You have that there. Finally, done is also coming, right? So what is this? Once that for is executed, then it will come to that else part and execute some statements. Are you good now?
Without else also we can.
Yeah, you can skip else also. This is one more construct. Got it right? You are getting some idea about. Suppose somewhere in some questions you see what is that for, after that you see else, and you might think this is not there because I didn't teach you. So I am giving you some idea, but mostly I didn't use it for many times. I don't use it frequently in my programming, but it's up to you. Suppose you see, we can use this like this. Suppose a small use case for you. All of us are very good with finding sum of n numbers, right? So I want to find first sum of n numbers, sum equal to 0. Then what is that? The sum equal to sum plus I. Once after completing my iteration, then I finally I want to print my result. Then what is that? I'm just saying what is that? Final and then comma, just like this. Small use case. So once done, then go to the printing. Got it, right? If we once you complete this completely, then go to the else part. Something like that. We can use it in this kind of context. It's more like if you are from Java, like finally block. Try catch and finally is there, right? If you want to do any some kind of cleanup operations, we use finally, right? Something like that. But you don't need to understand. If I use this some words finally, you don't need to think about it or understand. Got it, right? So we're done with this all the different constructs what we have in for, also while. Now are you ready for strings now? I know you are waiting for strings. You want nested for? Still I think you want me to be here for some time. No problem. I don't have issue. I will stay even for one more week in loops only. We can swim in loops. Right. Nested for. You want to understand something about nested for. Shall we do a small program on nested for? Shall we print a triangle or a rectangle or nested for? I don't have issues, folks. There's nothing to worry about it. It might take 10 more minutes. Do you want me to do that or not?
Yes.
Yeah, I see all of you are very interested. Then it's good. Are you good with this for with else? Are you good with continue? Anybody has still that confusion point on continue? If I see any question mark on your faces, I will repeat it, okay? Make sure you are clear. And one more is break. Are you good with break? Finally, one small quick answer me quickly. Whenever we use break and continue, you have to be very careful, right? How do you take care of those two? By making sure that they are properly applied with conditions. Is it clear or not? So next one. Some of our friends is asking me, online folks, they want this nested for. Even you want also want me to explain this nested for? How many of you are fine with this? Shall I do this one more? We can give it. We have seen it, right? Sai Kiran is saying can't give. You don't know about while conditions. No problem. Some of you are. I am just reading chart now. Okay, no problem. You can go through the previous sessions. Okay. Next one. Nested for or nested while. You want both or what? Nested for is fine. Okay. What is nested? Something inside something. Nested if. You can put if inside if. Nested if else. We have done all these kinds of constructs. Nested for inside for. Okay, just like this for some var1 in what? In C1 collection 1. Just syntax. I am trying to give just some basic syntax. Again inside that one more for. What is that? For var2 in C2. Or you can use C1 also. But I don't want to confuse you for now. Because once you learn something, there is a n number of ways to implement certain things. Then you just try to what is that do something here. Okay, what do you do? Yeah. Now we do a small logic here. Okay, are you ready for this? What is the execution flow here? How the execution flow works? If for the outer for is iterating one element, here it will iterate, try to complete the iterate until this condition is false. Here we have a condition or not? Yes or no? Yes. Now let us just understand a small quick program here, how it works. So I'm taking for, let us try to print a small rectangle. What is that? Rectangle, rectangle, right? I want this kind of output. Small example, as you are asking me, something like this. I need a, how many rows, sir? Some 3 rows. And I need how many columns? some 10 columns. I need 3 by 10. What I need? 3 rows and 10 columns using this nested. Whenever we have such kind of shapes, definitely we need nested loops. Single loop is not enough to get this kind of shapes. We need 2 loops, one for giving you a number of rows, second one to apply the pattern like how you want. One iterates through rows, otherwise second iterates through columns. You got it right. You have 3 rows and 10 columns, or 8 columns or 7 columns. It's your choice. Are you understanding the requirement first? You get the requirement or not? So what do you do then? It's very simple. Come here. So this time outer loop. I told you outer loop decides how many rows you should print. Then tell me now how many times this represents row. First loop represents how many rows you should iterate. Second loop represents how many columns. So what should be the requirement here? 1 comma 4. If I want 3 rows, you have to put comma 4 colon again for j in what should I do now? How many columns I need this time? How many columns I need this time? A range of 1 comma what I need? 1 comma 11. Are you following this or not? Then what I need now? Which one I should print? Should I print j or should I print I or should I print star? If I iterate this for one time, for one element, this is iterated for how many elements? I loop. If this is iterated for one element, so suppose I is 1, then it will come inside. Then this j loop is iterated from 1 to 10, yes or no? This is the execution flow. Outer loop iterates for one time. Inner loop iterates until condition is false here. Are you following this one? Might be you can ask me, sir, I didn't find any condition there. Obviously, there is an endpoint to this range, right? Condition is internally there. Implicitly, we have a condition. Don't think that we don't have condition or initialization or increment. All these are there internally. Implicitly, we have everything. Okay. You got this point? How nested loops work? One time outer loop iterates, inner loop iterates until condition is false. So I get 1 to this I. Then this j iterates for how many times, sir? 1 to 10. If you have a doubt, actually, what you can do? Means, sir, what should I do now? Do you want me to print I comma j both as well? Okay, no issues. Okay, as you are curious to understand how this works, so give some gap here. Okay, so little space, and then what? And then also what you do here? Print all that j in single line, j value. So what do I do now? And equal to little space. This gives you more understanding. You should also understand how to play with this print, when to put spaces, when to use when to print it in the same line and line by line, all that. We'll plan that, nothing to worry. Now run module. Yep, I missed something here. That comma is missing here. One thing. Yes, I'll remove that. That's actually we have this habitual practice applying prior to that. Next, put comma and remove that colon for print. So what is this here? So it is giving a combination 1 1 2 1. If it is 1 so how it is working here? 1 minute, let me just there is something missing here. Need to change the line. On the second column. Open brackets. Open and close doesn't work here. I'll do one thing. No. I'll format it. Don't worry. I'll format it. Don't worry. We got everything in a single line. First thing, that is one thing. We'll format it. Now this is perfect, right? Are we getting up to how much? So first one is you can see This is I. First one is what? I. And then let me just observe this. 1 1 2 1 3 1 4 1. Yes, of course. Why you get this output like this? Initially we have 1 here. Again we came to J. J is 1. You are printing I with combination. Yes, of course. You are seeing, you are expecting 1 and beside that all J answers, right? If you want that, what you have to do, a small correction to this. What do you do? Put your print for I where? Here. Okay. Now this time your whatever you are looking, that will be satisfied. Yes or no? I understand what you are looking for. You want I for 1 time, J for 10 times. Am I right?
You have used that upper value in the inner file.
Which one? If you put inner, it will print every time. It will print I and J, right? That's why you have a combination. I just want I for how many times? Only for 1 time, not for I don't want that recurring of I. Got the point, right? I don't want the combination of I and J continuously. I for 1 time, J for rest of the loop. That is my requirement. That is what I am assuming so far. Okay. Is it clear or not? How it works is, now you get a perfect analysis. This will give a perfect idea. See here now. Is this what clear now? I is iterated for how much? The first column is from I and rest of the part from J. Yes or no? I iterated for 1 time. J iterated for how many times? Now this is perfectly clear, right? Than the first 2 iterations, executions. Are you following or not? If outer loop iterates for 1 time, inner loop iterates until condition is false. Are you following? Now you want stars. Is it clear to you? Because it's your requirement. All of you are good now? Yes, please.
Yeah. Previously we have to print in inside another for right. There we got like 1, 1, 2, 1 like that. Right?
Exactly.
But we are printing there first I, after that J. But here we are getting first J after I.
No, it's not like that. Always I is printed first, then J comes. So if you want to be more clear, let me give you better clarity here so that you don't get confused. Okay. So what is the point now?
Previous syntax only. We have put like print I comma space. After that J. We have put right. So I after J should come. I should be always 1. J should be iterated from 1 to 10.
I should not be always 1.
Yeah, inside the second.
No, it's not like that. I changes. I is iterating from 1 to 4. Means it will iterate up to 3.
In the previous program, you can remove that print in the first part.
Yeah, that's what I am doing. You want this? What is your question?
Yes.
1 minute, guys. Those who are online, you do one thing. Just keep it like this. I'll come back. We'll discuss at the end of the session. Because again, So are you clear now? So if you put like this inside, it will try to print every time J loop is iterated. It will print a combinational output. What output we get here? Combinational. It will print I as well as J every time this J loop is iterated. I is 1. If you see this now get some clarity. You'll get it in. Can you see this now? What you are getting here? You are getting a combination. 1 1 2 1 3 1. What is this 1 1 here? I comma J. No. Yeah. Again, what is that? I is 1. Okay, fine. J is changing.
Just remove the space. I comma J is now.
If you remove space, you get what? 1 minute. This is more clear, of course. This is more clear. Okay. Perfect, right?
Yeah,
this is more clear for you. Are you getting all ones first?
J is it.
This is I and this is J. Clear now? Next one. Anyhow, we can analyze this more on afterwards. Okay. Let me switch to the next topic. strings. So what is a string now? String is already, we have a discussion on strings. String is group of characters in which quotes, sir? Double quotes. Okay, that's fine. Or single quotes are what else, sir? Triple quotes. There are so many things in strings for us. Okay. Okay, fine. Now let's come to this. This is about Python strings here for us. When we talk about a string, what is a string, gentlemen or ladies? It's a group of sequence of characters. Group of characters in double quotes or single quotes or triple quotes. Okay, that is a string. Means you can put it string in single quotes, or it can be in double quotes, or it can be in triple quotes. That's fine. We had discussed this. We know this, and already we know what is the class used to declare string. What class is used to declare string? Built-in class, str, right? You remember that or you forget it? Okay, fine. Next one, we can declare it in these three possible ways. You can give it as a single quote or double quote or triple quote. Okay. But usually single quote and double quote are for what kind of strings? It is used for declaring single line statements. If you want to go for multi-line statements, then you can use triple quote. You know, this is clear, right? If you want single line statements, use double quote or single quote. If you want multi-line statements, go for triple quote. Anyhow, we keep working on that. No need to worry. Now, next thing which we didn't discuss so far is this point. Suppose I have a string. A string has indexing internally. What it has? It has indexing. Suppose I take a string like this with 3. It has an indexing. It has a both forward and backward indexing. Like if you go to Java, you have only one index. Starts from 0, ends with size -1. Okay, if you remember strings in Java or C or C++. But here in Python, as it is more better and simplistic language, it has given 2 indexes for us, a forward index as well as a negative index. Or I can say, just for understanding, backward indexing. You can extract your string in both directions. You can iterate string from right to left or left to right. You can do it in both ways by using this index. And this is how the index is. You can see here, if it is with 3, can you see? The positive index starts from 0, ends with size -1. We have 8 characters here, and it ends with 7. And negative starts with -1 and ends with the -8. Remember this? We are going to work on all these things. Got it right? Now, how do you access elements from a string? So far, we just tried to iterate it with the for loop. Just now we have done it. But suppose I want a specific element from string, a character from a string. How do I do that? We have to use index operator. Which operator? Indexing. Okay. And this is how you have to extract that variable name of that indexer. Got it right? You can see here. See, do you get this point or not? String has index. Remember, we can put index from 0 to n-1 and -1 to -n. How it goes? Suppose I'll take one more example for quick idea. Okay, I'll take another example. Suppose my string is give me a small string of your choice. Otherwise, okay, something like Python. Okay, I am taking Python itself. You tell me how the indexing happens to this. So P has index 0, yes or no? It is Python. The indexing is something like this. All of you, just you can please actively participate or at least focus. Python has index how much? 0, then 1, then 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5. Are you following me? Okay. It has 6 letters, 0 to n minus 1. So, and what about negative index? It starts with the -1, -2, and then, are you following this or not? Whenever you are dealing with strings in Python, first you have to prepare this like this. In your mind at least, if not on paper. In your mind you should prepare this indexing. Then you start applying use cases. Are you good now? Yes sir. Yes sir. No? No, it's fixed actually. It's not in our hands. Python people, Guido van Rossum, you know, right? Who is he? He is the founder and actual developer of Python. He has designed like that. In programming, certain things we cannot change, syntaxes, all that we can use. That's all. What you try. But logic, as you asked a question, that you can work on such things. Are you good now, folks? Okay. Then suppose I want to extract this h from this string. All of you just focus. So what should I do now? See, you don't need to think so much. We are not doing any rocket science here. I don't know what is rocket science. Okay. Maybe if I am using it means. Okay. So how do I get h? You know, just now we had discussed. Apply index operator to extract a character from a string. Very clear, right? How that index operator is? It's a square bracket. Suppose I want just only h. In front of you, index is very clear. Say s of 3. Sir, if you have a doubt, these are small things. What do you do? Open your command prompt. What do you do? Just open your command prompt. Let's go and directly attack on this. Apply, directly apply. Okay. So first let me clear off the screen. Okay. So OS dot system of this is to clear your Python's prompt. You don't have CLR, CLS, clear all that. So now take a string here. You know, now you got idea about indexing, right? You can use single quote or double quote for single line strings. Okay. Now S of 3 gives you what, folks? H or not? Yes, right? Suppose I want n now. You tell me. You don't have your chart in front of you. How do I get n now? S of 5. Okay, I got n. I want to bring in back order. Suppose I want to do the same thing. I want to get from negative index. What should I use here? S of -1. Are you following? Then I want just p. It should be s of -6. Suppose I give -7. What happens, folks? Any world war will come here? Any collision happens? No, Kamal is saying nothing happens.
Index is out of range.
What happened here? String index out of range. You told nothing, right? It is what error? See, observe carefully here. What error it is? You have to make a note of all this. Don't be a spectator here. You have to make a note of all such things. All these are important. Got index error. Index exceeds, what happens, folks? You get out of range. Suppose same thing I try with a positive index. One of our student might be having a doubt. What if I give a positive out of range value? That is also out of range. So you are also giving me answer. Yes or no? Once you exceed range, when you are applying this index operator, what operator? You get out of range. Keep in mind. Okay. Next one after this. Ready for next? Are you good with this? So first thing is string has internal indexing in both directions, in both ways otherwise. positive way and negative way, left to right and right to left. And you can extract string in both ways. Now we are going to work with slicing. You know what is slicing?
Cutting.
When I say slice, you remember your fruits, apple, mango. Yes or no? Slicing
Yeah.
means cutting something. Yes or no?
Cutting.
Cutting something. That's what we do now. Okay. So let's what we do is this is string slicing. String slicing means it is also having an index of. The difference is the one which we used is just only to mention the index. Here we can specify start and end points for slicing. Even you can also, I think you can mention. We'll see one by one. I don't want to confuse. What is that we have? We have this is called slice operator. Which operator? Sir, this is very useful. Not just applicable only on strings. It is applicable on collections also. List. I think we can also apply this on tuple, but not the set and map. On all indexed data structures. What data structures? Indexed, which has indexing. We can apply this slice. This is not there in Java, C, C++, all this. If you want to do slicing, you have to use substring function. But Python is so simple, so user friendly. We have this. Let's see how slice works. Okay, don't worry about index now. This index must be smaller than start index must be smaller than an index. You can understand that with experience. You don't need to make a note of it now. Are you following, folks? Are you ready for slicing now? How your slice operator works? It should have a start and an index. Suppose I took Vida3. You keep answering now. Now you got some idea, right? So I say s of 0 comma 0 colon. You have to separate it with colon. Can you see this? The separator between start and end index is colon. Observe this carefully. Okay, now I have Vida3 and I am applying this on her. When I say 0 colon 8, what do I get here, folks? You get it will iterate from 0 to 7 or 8. It will take up to 0 to 7 or 8. 7. Start index and end index. Again, end index here is inclusive or exclusive? Inclusive or exclusive? See, if you have a doubt, why do we think too much? Okay, go and test it. That's all. You don't need to wait for I am just taking my string as okay. There are 3, and then I am saying s of 0 colon 8. What do I get now? Suppose I give s of 0 colon 7. What do I get? What do I get? I get the full string, or am I going to miss anything here? I'm going to miss I here, yes or no? Because it is start index is inclusive and index is exclusive. Exclusive means it will be omitted. Let us see. Am I missing I or not? This should be very clear for all of you. Kamal, your doubt clarified, right? You are about to ask something. But anyhow, when you listen it, you get most of the stuff. Are you good, guys? Shall we play a little now for some time? S of 4 colon 6. What do I get now? Tell me. S of 4 colon 6. What do I get? 8. No, I need your answers, quick answers. Okay. Observe. Nobody. For some time, please stop. Writing. First, answer my questions. Okay. Let's understand. Let's analyze, not understand. Already you know this. Suppose S of 0 colon minus 1. What happens? Tell me.
Reverse. String is reversed.
0 colon minus 1.
String is reversed.
That's why you leave it now. For now, you leave it. 0 comma colon minus 1. Tell me now. So this is your this thing, right? Indexing is this. You know the indexing, right? This is indexing. Observe indexing here. I said 0 colon minus 1. Will this work or not? That is first question. Second question, if it works, what do we get? Because if it don't work, There's nothing to talk here. If it works, what do we get?
Reverse.
It will get full string. It's okay, fine. See, if you answer wrong or right, is nothing matter here for now. Just analyze. We are doing analysis. That's all. That's what Python is meant for. Yes. So now here, what do you do right now? Where is this? Sorry. 0, minus 1. So why it's giving this? Why it's giving this? Because if you look at this string, so anyhow, start is inclusive, end is a exclusive. You might be wondering what's happening here, but there is nothing like wonder or surprise here, because if you look at the indexing, it is very clearly indexed here. Can you see this now? The index is very clear. I gave 0 as my start index. I gave minus 1 as an end index. Means what it will do? It will extract from. You can see here. It is going to take up to what? R. It is trying to extract from left to right. Are you following this point or not now? Okay, so means you can take combinational positive and negative indexes. Suppose, let me give better understanding. Observe here carefully. Suppose I give here, I am writing here itself. So S of, because you have index in front of you, so it's easy for you to answer. Okay, S of 0 colon minus 3. Okay. What do you get now? Up to you get a what? Up to A. One more question. Now can you answer this? We can test it afterwards. Because as you have index in front of you, it's easy for you to answer this question. S of minus 1 colon minus 8. Let us understand this. What's your answer? You answer your answer. Whether it is right or wrong, whether it is work or not, we will test it. Give me your answers, okay?
I to I in reverse.
S of minus 1, because you need to understand in 360 degrees, not 180 degrees or 90 degrees. So, what do you get here? I had done extraction of string from left to right, it's working. What I am doing now, I am trying to get from right to left. Yes or no? This is right to left or right. Minus 1 to minus 8 means what? Reverse. Let us see whether this works or not first thing. We'll see. If it is works, okay, keep your answer there. Okay, we'll test it. Next one. S of, okay, 1 colon minus 8. What is that? 1 colon minus 8. One more. What's your output now? 1 colon minus 8. One more question. So give me your answers. What should I put? You give your answers. I am not saying that is correct, but let's give your answers. I'll keep here. Okay, this one. IRTAH. This is your answer. It's not correct. We are not, concluding. DI. That's all right. That's assume. We are assuming. Next one. Please, gentlemen. Let me allow. Next one. Give me a few more combinations of your choice. Few more come on guys. Huh? 1 colon minus 1. One more combination. Next. S of so okay, 2 colon some 7 or 2 colon 1. Okay, 2 colon 1. Is it meaningful? Let's understand now. Let me test it. 0 colon minus 3, as expected, it will return what? It will return up to Vida. Okay, that's perfect. Second one. What is our second one? Minus 1 colon minus 8. This gives some understanding now. There is something to learn here. No. Here you don't get. If you use index, only this is slice operator. What operator? This is not index operator. If you use index operator, it leads to what? Index error. Okay, let's see this now. What did you get now? space. But actually, our answer, we assumed it to be IRTAHI. Okay? IRV, of course. You have V also, right? Somewhere. Sorry. IRTA HDI. Okay, fine. But what I'm getting here, I'm getting space here. Means what's happening? You are trying to slice it from left to right. When you applied with right to left, what's happening? Is it working? No, it's not working. Okay, still let's check few more. There are few more, right? 1 colon minus 1. This is something which, can we expect output for this? All of you folks. Can you expect output? See this. Are you sure? Okay. Yes, this time. What it's getting? Okay. Perfect only, right? Next, last one. Just to give you a better understanding, sir, we are doing last one. 2 colon 1. Do you think this is legal? Do you think this will work, gentlemen or ladies? Generally, it will go from left to right. That's what I told you. Your index, start index should be less than an index. And you have to, suppose if it is not working, if it is not correct, if it is not in proper order, does slice gives any error? Does slice throw any error like, just now we have seen, if it is index operated, it is throwing index error. Suppose one more question. S of 0 colon, I'm giving 10 here. Do you think index 10 is available or index 9 is available? Index 8 is available for Vidatri? No. But I am giving extra index, out of range index. What I am giving? Out of range index. Do you think this will work?
No.
Do you get error?
No.
It is taking up to that length of this string, that's all. Remaining is excluded. Suppose another use case. I started with how much is minus 10 colon 10. Do you have our index itself starts with the 0 and I'm going for minus 10. Okay, of course, if you see from left to right also, it's up to minus 8 only. But what did I give here? Minus 10 to 10. Of course, look at the first, always try to. Minus 10 to 10 is there. But what do you get now? Any idea? Are you sure? Are you sure that this time you get space? We are moving from left to right only, right? Minus 10 to 10. Left to right or right to left? How this slicing is happening? Minus 10 to 10. Look at this indexing here. Minus 8, minus 7, minus 6, minus 5. And look at the top index. 0, 1, 2, 3. How it's going here? Are you following this? Don't worry about it. Minus 1 to minus 8. Look at this order. How you are doing slicing? You are asking from minus 8 to 7, colon 7. Will it work or not? Yes or no? Minus 8 colon 7. Will it work or not? Minus 7 colon 6. Will it work or not? Yes or no? Are you following or not? Okay, if you haven't, don't worry. Just to get a quick idea, enter. Got it right? You got full Vidatri. You might be wondering how it happened. Jen, don't do anything. Just go and look into your this index. Observe the indexing, how it is. Even though you don't have minus 10, when you in between minus 10 to 10, do you have this Vidatri or not? Yes. That's what. Suppose I give minus 8 colon 7, will it work or not? Do you get output or not? I told you, test in 360 degrees, not 180 or what is that? Next one. So here again S of minus 8 colon 7. What do you get now? Output. You miss I. Are you following or not? Got some perfect idea? One more last question. S of minus 1 colon 0. Answer, folks. If you have a doubt, go and look here. You have to observe this. Minus 1 colon 0. Will it work or not? First thing. If it works, what is the output? If it don't work, you get space. That is default answer for you. Yes or no? What's your output now? Are you sure? This time you got some clear picture, right? Okay, now let's enter. Yes, you are correct now. By now you got some better understanding, right? Okay. So see, when you understand at this level, all these are very clear, then applying logic will become easy. And if you don't know this basic, and if you are doing something, then it is not going to yield complete results. Got it right? So that's the point. Next, shall I switch to the next topic now? Are you clear now? String slicing is perfect for us. Even these are also part of string slices only. It is a full string. Even we can just get, suppose you have a string like this, and in that you have words. I want to tokenize it. What I want to do? Tokenize it. Then you can do 0 to 5 Peter, and 7 to 11 Paul, and 17 to 21 Mary. Yes or no? Right? Simple, right? Next one. Another one. You have a banana. Every time banana, don't get hesitated. Now colon 3. So of course, let's try to understand this. We didn't work. I didn't give start point here. Can you see this? I have a banana. I didn't mention start, but I have mentioned end point. What do I get now? What do I get? Come on, guys. Give me answer. I don't want put 0 or something. Will it work first? I didn't. I missed start point. Will it work? Yes, right. And what is the answer then? Ban. Okay. Okay. What about this? I started from 3 and then colon. I missed the end point. I missed end point. Will this work? Are you sure? Somebody is saying A and A. Okay. Somebody is also saying that it is space, sir. I told you to put that index whenever there is a string. On top of that, on bottom of that, give that positive and negative index. Then you don't get confused. 3 colon something. Do you think it is something wrong here? No. Start should be third index. End should be anything else. Next after that. 3 colon minus 10. 3 colon minus 10. Huh? Will this work actually? Put indexing, folks. That's matter of even hardly it will need 30 seconds or 10 seconds or 20. Will this work? Are you sure?
Yes.
Space, okay. What about the last one? 3 colon up to 99. Our index itself hardly it has 6 characters and it will stop by 5. But I give 99. Okay, will it work? What is your answer? A and A. Okay, shall we quickly? And last one, of course, one more. This one. What about this? Nothing, no start, no end. What do you get for this? No start, no end, yeah? You get banana? Are you sure? So you are saying banana. Okay, let's record all your answers and then we'll test one by one. No problem, don't worry. We'll go for testing, okay? Are you following, guys? Okay, fruit is ready. Then what should we do now? We should apply slicing. Let's take this. To be frank, Python is much more interesting than many languages. Enter. What you got? You got ban. Okay, that's fine. Next one. Second one. What is second one? Ana. What should you get? You get Ana. Third one. That is perfect. Third one. You are saying it is space. Your answer, right? Let me test it. Perfect. Next one. Fourth one. Fourth one what? You are saying again Ana. Let me choose. Perfect. Means you have mastered this. Perfect. No, none of your answers wrong. Everything is correct. Next, last one, what? Okay, no problem. What is that? It's a FRUI, the fruit of colon something. What do you think this time? Of course, you don't need to use print here. In Python prompt, you have the type inference. It will give you what it is giving me. Banana. If you miss out start and end point, it will default take the start point as 0, end point as a length of your string. Okay, length minus 1, it will take up to length, sorry, up to length. Got it right?
How it is displayed.
Which one?
Without print command.
That is called, it has, this is prompt, right? Even for not for this, even if you want to print any variable, you don't need to use print in this Python prompt. But if you are using idle, there you have to use prints. This is actually interactive mode, what we call. And by default, this prompt has type inference, means you don't need to give everything, it will take something internally. That's all. It is actually the software. Software will work like that, nothing more than that. There is no secret or there is nothing like anything magic here. Clear now? Suppose you take a variable here and print it. Just pass A here. This is prompt. For prompt, you don't need to use prints. By looping all that, you need to add internally. But by default, to test this single state, what is that? Simple statements, individual statements, you can directly print it. Okay. Next one after this. Are you ready for next one? Now, you know how to iterate a string, right? Shall we apply these functions of string now? Built-in functions of string. There are two types of functions here. One, general purpose functions, and the other one is other type of functions are functions which are present inside string class. Which class, sir? Whenever we are talking about functions, we come across two kinds of functions. Not only this, if you understand string clearly, it is also easy for you to follow list and the tuple also. Got it right? So now, usually we have two types of functions built-in. These are all built-in functions, not user-defined. What kind of functions are this? Built-in. Built-in means already defined. You just need to know how to use them. We'll discuss how to create your own functions. That is also there. We have two types of functions here, built-in functions, what I'm talking. One is a general purpose or regular functions, what we call. You can name as you like, just for understanding. Second one, functions inside string class. Functions or methods, you can say, you can use any name. Functions in string class. Maybe you can ask me a question like, what is the difference, sir? You can see the difference here itself. Now I'm starting with length function. Which function? What is this length does here? Just return the length of string. What do you have to do? Whenever you use this, just pass your string to that. It returns an integer. What it returns, sir? An integer, the length of that string. What you have to do? Copy it to some variable.
Not required to convert again.
Not required. It returns an integer. Clear, right? If it is returning integer, no need of conversion. That function itself is finding out how many characters were there, and finally it is returning what is that number of characters in the form of integer. So you don't need to apply any casting here. Are you clear now? How do you apply this? Like this. You can take an example here. S equal to some name. Any string is okay. String is your choice. Okay. Or variable is also your choice. And you can pass it to the length function and you can print it. That's all. I'll just test it here. And after that, I'll give few programs to you. You can start working on such programs. Okay, now I'm taking a string here, something of my choice. If it is your string, you can take your choice. I'm taking Vidatri. I want to find length of Vidatri. So how do you find length of S? I got S, right? But recommended is preserving this length, because in a code you have to preserve all these values. What do you mean by preserve? You have to copy these values and keep it for future reference. Just putting into some variable. So I'll just say something like, L equal to len of S. Now I print L, then I get S. Are you following this or not? Now one small task to you, one use case. Let's build one use case. Write a program. Now I am using length function to find number of characters in string, right? What I am doing? Length function to use number of characters in string. Yes or no? But what I need is I don't want to apply len function. What is the use case? The same thing, you write a code to find length of that string. What you do? You write a code to find what? Length of string. You might ask me, how can I do that, sir? With the knowledge what we have so far, with the discussion that's what. With the discussion what we have done so far, what you can do, you can write a code to find length without taking help of which function? Built-in function. Doesn't mean that you should not use, but for now this is use case. Okay. So are you ready for this? Write a program. To find length of a string. Don't use len function. Okay. Length of a string. What is the pointer? Don't use len. You have to create a code for that. It's your choice, yeah. Whether you want to use for loop. Already we have all that basic or fundamentals necessary to find the length of the string. Any string, not just this. You can input from keyboard also. Try it now. Sir, without thinking, without implementing, if you are just observing what I am trying to tell, maybe you get some understanding. It is not going to help you completely. Okay, folks, even online, you also start implementing that. Dear friends. Okay. If you give me your full capacity, definitely I can bring so much of change in your approach of implementing code. You understood what I am telling. If you have limitations, then there's nothing what I can do, at least what, not 100%. Okay. Are you good now? This is very simple. If I answer this question without using length, means you have almost all the basic fundamentals which we have done today in last week. Even today's session is enough. You don't need last week's session also to do this. So simple code. You can do it in multiple ways also. Okay. Shall I just try this solution out? Let's take a string. Tell me one small string, guys. Something which is funny string. Funny in sense, not something weird or something bad. Something funny. What do you give? S equal
Biryani.
He has biryani. Okay. What is the length of biryani here? Hyderabad, right? Obviously biryani comes. Okay. Then what should I do now? Okay. Okay. What should I do now? For I in what is that S colon. Before that I should do one thing. Not S equal. Take one count or S count. You have done this kind of program, right? Then every time loop iterates. Don't print I. You don't need to print I this time. What you have to do? Count equal to count plus 1. Is this difficult here? Over. Yeah, count. Yeah, count plus 1. Which one I should print? When should I print? Inside or outside? See, you are far better than me now. Wow. This is what I am expecting. Okay. Then print of what? What do you do now? What is count of biryani? Will I get 7? Are you sure? Oh, yeah, perfect. You have implemented one built-in function yourself. That's right. You know, in this way you can recreate the whole API. That is what API is. Application Programming Interface. All these built-in things are called that API. You can recreate all these functions, built-in functions. Advantage is you understand what's happening in the background. There is something like behind the screens, behind the function. What is there? You know that.
The length function is also in the backend. It will execute.
It is also implemented by someone like us only. It will also have a similar code, if not his way of implementation, like this one. Understood, right? But it is a function. Maybe we can create a recreate with same name also. I'll show you when we move to the function topic. Your own length. Suppose I want to input dynamic. Is it possible or not? Can use input function and do it, right? So that's idea about what this one. Already it's 12:20. I hope I would like to continue for some time. If you are okay, fine. Are you fine? You are not exhausted, or you are not out of your coverage area. I think I am going slow only. You don't need to divert also, because I'm not giving that much of information. Okay. So next one. Are you ready for next one? This is another way. I think the two more. Right? Don't see the solution. You can do it in different ways, but for now, don't go through the solution. Reversing a string. Will you try this now? I told you, right? Here you have to keep on doing coding only. If you are prepared for that, then you can enjoy these sessions. And the result you see after 2 months. When you learn some other course, when you are upskill for data science, or when you upskill for when you are doing some automation in your projects, then you see how this is going to help you. Like when you are applying in your testing, or when you are applying in your day-to-day projects. Okay. Program to reverse a string. Don't use any reverse function here. There is one important point still I didn't mention today about string is string is immutable. Most of the built-in data types in Python are immutable. Remember this point. We'll discuss tomorrow. What is that? String is immutable, or most of the built-in data types, that int, char, float, all that is there, right? They are immutable in nature. Remember this. Tomorrow we'll talk on this. How do you reverse is your choice. Do whatever you know how to declare string, you know how to iterate string. You know string has index. If you know all this, then you know how to use range function. You can use for or while, it's your choice. Finally, output should be what? It should be your output. You should reverse it. How you don't? Just try it. That's all. Some of you, I'm not seeing laptops. I believe you don't have laptops. Am I right? Or are you lazy enough to bring that? Some of my online students were asking what after 28 and 29, what would be the charges for this fees course? I am not going to charge anything for this course, complete course, core Python, advanced or analytical. And till the end, the sessions will be like this only. Informative sessions. It's not like we just do it very good in the beginning and we skip certain things at the end. Got it right? Only thing is, if at all, if anything is missing, that's your dedication and your patience. That is what important. Finished it? Shall I show you how to do this? Yes or no? You want some time? See, some of you are still working. Okay, fine, no issues, please. Then I will also show myself. It's simple. Reversing a string is not that difficult here. Let me just try this. Open your prompt. Take a string of your choice. You told biryani. Shall I reverse biryani? Okay. Let's try this now. So I should start reversing in sense I should start from I and I should print up to B. For now, I'm just making it simple. Okay. So to start from back to front, we can use range function, right? One way is this. It's not like this is only the way. In coding, we can implement a logic in number of ways. Okay. So shall I prefer range function here? If it is for, you have to apply some kind of collection. Range of what? If you want sequence of numbers, definitely range is the best choice because range gives perfect sequence, right? Then the point is here one more thing. I need this code first. If I am not depending on any built-in function, what I need? First, I should find the count of number of characters in the string, length of string. Suppose if I am using length function, it is a different story. Yes or no? So what can I do? Okay, I will keep it like that. Now I am writing another code snippet for reversing a string for okay C in some character in range of I should start from where? Is it count or count minus 1? Count is 7, but what is the last index of biryani? It's up to 0 to 6, right? How many characters are there here? 7 characters. Index starts with 0, ends with 7. Or it starts with -1 and comes to -7. You can do it in both ways. Which one you want to prefer? You want negative or positive? It's your choice first thing. If it is positive, what you have to do? It should be count -1 comma. You have to stop where? 0. You have to stop at -1. If you give -1, it will stop at 0. If you give 0, it will stop at 1. You got the point, right? And then comma. Again, what should I say? Yes or no? Do you have idea about all this or not? Sir, it's not about learning the syntax or doing. Applying is important here. Then only you get a perfect idea about what you are doing. Now what should I do now? Print. Print of what? C. I want it in the same line. What can I do? Comma and equal to space. If I don't use this, what happens? I get a character by character. Default escape sequence is new line in print statement. I taught you this in the previous session also. What do you do then? Just run it. Oh my god, what did I get here? Huh? What I have to do? What is I am missing here? Tell me. What I am missing? Come on, guys. I should say S of what is that? S of, you know, you have to extract through index. I told you, if you want to extract some character from string, you have to say that S of that index. Are you following or not? This is one way. There is the much more simplest way in Python to reverse it. When you look at that, you just say that, oh my god, it is so easy. Got it, right? This is one approach. Of course, doing like this is useful in the beginning because your thinking improves. That is what we need as a developer. Might be if anybody has a confusion, so earlier you print C, right? What happened there? I'm just printing this range of numbers. That's all. I'm not trying to extract a character from string. I can extract something from string only when I say what is that? Only when I say what is that? S of what, folks? S of that index. We had tested it, right? How to get H, how to get A, we have seen it. Whenever if you want to extract a character from string, either say S of index or slice operator. What operator? Got it, right? That is important. Shall I run this now? Some of you are a little curious, observing whether this code works or not. I think this is perfectly working, right? Yes. But this is not perfect reverse. If you think you have done your job, then you didn't do your job. Suppose you see, might be, of course, we have achieved something, that is fine. We have shown how to reverse it. Printing in reverse order is fine. But reversing string means, suppose I remove this end. What did I do? I remove end. Now I am printing this. Observe carefully. What I am getting? Character by character. Even if I print with this one also, I should get a whole string, not character by character. That is what perfect reverse is. You are reversing, you have achieved something, not completely, partially. Got it, right? Are you following or not? Suppose if I use print with end or without end, if I used in any way, I should get reverse. That's all. I should not get character by character. That's what I am expecting. What do you do for that? You have to copy all these elements to a collection. Understood? And then you can print it. I will see it again. Nothing to worry. And there is another way directly to do this. See, double colon. Copy, will talk about it tomorrow because it takes some time. You try this, folks. This one. This is for reversing with slice operator. I told you, right? There is another way of doing reverse. Okay. If you come with little energy and that fire, then we can play with lot of tasks, use cases. You don't imagine how many you can get here, which usually you don't find it in websites also. These are there in the websites, but still we can create our own problems and solve them. Is this difficult for you? Applying slice -1 at 10. I told you, right? When I show other way, you just say that it's so easy, sir. You'll be awestruck with this because it's very simple. That's Python. Got it right? Just try to implement direct. Got reverse. Right? Do you need to break any of your head here? Matter of one simple statement. Reverse string over. What, Kamal? Okay. Suppose if you give -2, what happens here? Another use case. So that's how you have to be. If you want to learn something, what do you have to do? -2 means what happens? Tell me. You know the answers. What is that? It started with I, and then yes, it is giving. It is like decrementing by 2. What is doing that? Decrementing. This gives you a clearer picture. By 3, if I give -3, are you following this? Got it right? When you take something, of course, it's not possible always. If you work in 360 degrees, suppose you take it, you put something at the beginning and see what happens. At the end, put something, what happens? Then automatically, without your notice, you will be thinking far ahead of what is required. Got it right? Clear now? That's it, folks. This is the idea about. We didn't finish strings. I told you, right? If you want to learn it in a right way and in a detailed approach, by applying, it takes time. Okay. Tomorrow, we will work on much more built-in functions. Very useful for you. See here, there are so many built-in functions, and few more you can see here. These are all built-in functions. We work with them. We will also try few functions. We recreate ourselves, at least logic part, not function. If you know how to recreate logic, see, then function is nothing. Function is a wrapper. Wrapper is not big issue. Putting a cover to a book is difficult. Preparing book is difficult. That is what we are doing right now. Understood, right? We work on all this. Still, it's not over. There are so many things in strings itself in Python. All are simple. Okay. Then we switch to collections. After that, what we do? We switch to our favorite topic. That is the most important and core topic of Python, which many people are looking, is collections. Understood? Most of your file processing, if you take JSON, without these collections we cannot process JSON. Talk about CSV, because tomorrow when you start working in Python, file processing becomes one common thing in your code, in your project, because you get data in the form of files only. What Python does, analysis only, right? Or automation. Suppose, let us assume that we are doing analysis, we are applying for analytics. You take about data science, or talk about big data, or talk about this kind of technologies. What do? File is the most common input for your requirements. Without opening file, your day doesn't start. Okay, that's it. So any more questions from your side? Now it's question time. If you have questions, you can ask me. If you don't have questions, then we can depart for today. Somebody is asking me, is your doubt clarified? You are asking something, that looping, nested for loop.
I will try at home and tomorrow.
Oh, you will try and come. That's good also. Still, if you want help, I'll stay back and I will work on it. If you are done,
I have a question on slicing.
thank you guys. We'll meet tomorrow, same time, 10 o'clock. Online folks, if at all, if I am a bit late, don't leave the session. Definitely session will be going on. It will never stop. If there is any holiday or something, I'll update it to everyone.
Mr. Manohar, I have a question.
And for, you know, yes, see for you, some of you are missing sessions. As I told you, what I suggest is you go through this channel, video channel, YouTube channel, Learn Well Space Tech. Which one? Learn Well Space Tech. I'll just type here in the notepad. Those who are new to the session, sir, so that you can update yourself and come to the next session without any problem. So our YouTube channel is this Learn Well Space Tech. If you want, I can show you. Okay, you can see here also directly. You just open YouTube and just type here. What is that? Simply type Learn Well Space Tech. Enter. You get our channel here. What I request is, if you don't have a problem, please subscribe, and if you don't have issues, please like and share also. But if you have a problem, then I am not going to say anything. Clear, right? So you have all the sessions. Whichever is done, we are uploading it directly into the YouTube. And please share to your friends also about this session links, so that it will be helpful to them. Thank you.
Now we can see that logo.
Yeah, that's fine, not an issue. Okay. Thank you, guys. Bye. Somebody has a question regarding slicing. Yes, Sanjay, I think I am not able to hear your voice. So can you please, type in short what's your question, or you can type in your, this WhatsApp also. You have this WhatsApp, right?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Anybody has questions, please.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
I wanted to ask you, I haven't done any programming course before. So if I go through these videos, it will be okay for me?
Yes, definitely. More than enough. You need to have patience as well. Okay.
And what is ideal? You said something.
What?
Something ideal you said.
Yeah, that is actually like an editor to write code and run programs. That's the idea.
Without that, I can do?
No, you need it, right? Without a plate, can you eat food? It's like that.
Okay. And how many days I have to need to complete this course?
It will take 2 to 3 months.
2 to 3 months.
It's a free course. You don't need to pay anything. Okay. Sure. I will add it. Somebody Srini is asking. Definitely, we will add it. Can you? No, this is our website. What I request is just send a message to this number. You can have a number here. Can you see this now? Please send a message to this WhatsApp message to this number. Then we will add it. That's enough. Even if I forget also. So I think Pawan, I think you have your answer. You can go through the channel. No, you can use it in any way, Vinod. I told you, right? There are a number of ways. As long as you are getting output and it is perfect, you can do it in any way. Okay, Vinod. Anybody wants to add to the group, please just text this WhatsApp number. Then our admin will add you to the WhatsApp groups. Okay.
Hi, can you hear me?
No, it's working. Every day we are seeing messages, right? Even I sometimes I also see this. Okay. It's working, Vinod. Oh, what you are asking about code? Okay. Sorry, there is a overlap between 1 minute.